Hi, I'm Helen Evans. I'm the Chief Executive of Network Homes, and this video log is about the decisions taken by Network Homes Board last night. You will see that I am speaking from my own home. That's because the entire organisation is working from home in the circumstances of the national emergency caused by COVID-19. I say the whole organisation, those of us who are in back office functions. Obviously, we still have a lot of frontline staff doing critical work out on our developments and with people living in our homes. The board last night acknowledged the work that network staff are doing, both the back office and on the front line. And they also took the decision that they would discuss the COVID-19 emergency at a separate meeting once a week. The agenda for last night's meeting, they did focus much more on business as usual, as you might expect in an emergency of this kind. But that's because we are a long-term business and we have a role to play both in the immediate crisis and in the recovery that will be required for the London and UK economy when the crisis is finally over. I was able to give the board assurance that Network Homes and other similar organisations are in constant communication with London councils, with the GLA, with the Ministry for Housing and Local Government and Communities and other stakeholders, including the G15, who are speaking to each other on a regular basis. This allows us to share problems, share suggestions for resolution, and to make sure that we're doing the maximum that we can to contribute to the national effort. On network business last night, the board agreed the budget for the forthcoming year, that is 2021. It's a complex budget, obviously covering all of our operations, but the one thing that I would like to highlight is that it included £14 million allocation towards fire remediation work on buildings with building defects. This is split into revenue expenditure, that's paying for things like waking watch, and capital expenditure, which is actually dealing with the work that's required in these buildings. The other thing in the budget to highlight is that it confirmed the allocation of £100,000 currently, but to be kept under review, into a charitable fund, which Network Homes will use to assist people who are in one-off serious financial difficulty, and it agreed that there will be a process for allocating those funds over the forthcoming year. So the next thing that the board agreed last night was the 30-year business plan. The 30-year business plan doesn't get set in stone at the beginning of the 30-year period. It is constantly adapted to ensure that the organisation, which is a long-term business, can deliver its objectives. And those objectives are services to existing residents in our homes and new homes for the people who need them. The business plan is structured to ensure that we are financially strong and resilient and can deliver over the long term. It's constantly stress tested for changing events, and that's why it's adapted on a regular basis. The board also agreed the organisation's performance targets for the forthcoming year. These are collected and reviewed monthly, and they will be published monthly, so anybody who is interested can have a look at them. Highlights in terms of performance over the last year were call responses hitting over 90% answered, and so that target was pushed up. Complaint responses, the target was pushed up. And customer satisfaction, the target is staying at 90%. And finally, we considered a health and safety report. Network Homes, this does relate to COVID-19 in part. Network Homes has continued with all essential health and safety work, and that includes gas servicing, where we were able to report 100% compliance last night. Obviously, we have to respect the government's guidance in respect to people who are self-isolating or showing symptoms, but our contractors are working on how they can safely deliver services in people's homes through this emergency. These are extraordinary times. Network Homes board, executive and people are doing everything we can to keep services running as near normal as possible. The investment that we've made in information technology over the last 18 months has really helped us to do that. We are posting updates on our service status on our website on a regular daily basis, so please do check those. And in the meanwhile, I wish everybody the very best to stay as safe as they can.